What's taken for granted will eventually be taken away from you. So always be on point with that. You know what I'm saying? Always make sure that whatever it is, that's around you, whether it's people that support you, never take them for granted. People, loved ones, whoever that's around you that show genuine love, make sure you reciprocate that.
The Daily Gems. Yeah!
My name's Lex Lavo from East Harlem, better known as Spanish Harlem, El Barrio. We in the building. Uh, well, like I said, I'm from the East Side, and I'm from Lexington Avenue, so that's where the Lex kind of derived from. But the Lavo, it means in Spanish, it means the voice. And one of my idols, from the salsa genre is Hector Lavo. So I took the Lavo, but I kind of like rearranged the lettering a little bit, and I just made it my own. So it's like I'm Lex the voice. I'm the voice of my people. It is paying homage, and it's just showing respect. You know what I mean, to the culture. And that's what I try to implement into hip hop. Period. You know what I'm saying? I try to bring that, that Latino vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like people, I feel like people appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? Whatever culture you come from. You know what I'm saying? I got a family member who's been in the industry for years, and they still book them in Turkey and Japan, and they don't understand, but they still could mouth the lyrics. You know what I'm saying? So it's a vibe. People respect the culture. I mean, I would say I started writing maybe at the age of like, 10, 11, maybe poems in school, stuff like that. I just took a liking to it immediately. And I was just always good with my words, you know what I'm saying? My mom always said I had a slick mouth. So, I always was able to, you know what I'm saying, put that together. But I think once I like hit like 16, 17, that's kind of when I took it serious and started really like, making my presence known on the scene. So, I mean, I'm definitely a student of the game. You know what I'm saying? I definitely watch to see what kind of formulas work for some people. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for me. But, I kind of, take heed of seeing, what worked for some people. And I kind of like take some of that and implement it in my own way. You know what I mean? It's not rocket science. You know what I'm saying? Some people like to go against the grain, and, inevitably you're going to fail that way. So, it's nothing wrong with just being yourself and figuring out your own formulas. But as they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You can't. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, why would you go against it? You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I try to take certain things, mash them up, and just figure out my own way. And I just feel like, just to get myself out there, I feel like people respect the way I market myself. You know what I'm saying? At going back to the whole showing, paying homage to my culture and stuff like that. It's kind of refreshing to people. And I always hear that, you know what I mean, when I'm out and about at a show, even when I'm walking down the street. I had a dude. I was on the 6 train the other day. Some dude from East Asia. He was just grilling me, and I'm like what? Like, what's wrong? I thought it was a problem. And he came up to me. He was like, "Are you Lex Lavo?" Like, he couldn't really pronounce it, and I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Oh my God, I love your music." And I'm like, the fact that even just the internet in itself is such a powerful platform nowadays. It's beyond me. You know what I'm saying? And I've been doing this before it was as popular as it is. So now to see where it's come, it's amazing, man. I just wish I knew the business better. You know what I'm saying? Because nowadays these kids that are coming up, they feel like all they gotta do is upload a song on SoundCloud with a cover art and they gonna get lit. It don't work like that. You gotta have that machine behind that record. And if you and your team believe that that's the record y'all believe in, there's a lot to it. It's more, marketing. It's more promotion. You gotta have a PR. You gotta have somebody managing you that can, make those proper moves for you, and just put your music out there. And I feel like a lot of these kids, they lack that type of knowledge. So it's like, or even just the guidance. So it's like, for me, I've been doing this for a little while now, and I feel like I like to, kind of drop those gems, for lack of a better word. But I feel like it's like my birthright, just for knowing that kind of knowledge. You gotta spread it out, man. You gotta let these kids know, even the younger crowd that don't know better. You know what I'm saying? I mean, quiet is kept. I've been, like I said, I have been doing this for quite some time. But aside from that, I've you know, I've had a lot of people on my team. I've had to, uh, I've definitely had to cut some people off, unfortunately. But when it comes to just building a team, it just come down to loyalty. You know what I mean? Like regardless of, people could show you love all day. Yo, I seen this, I seen that, or even just post you up. However they promote you, any promotion is great promotion. I appreciate any support, but I feel like when somebody goes that extra mile, I done had dudes that's been around me for a while now, and I didn't even know them from a hole in the wall. It was just more so the vibe and the energy that we had, and I just respected the fact that they were showing me more love than people that knew me my whole life was showing me love. You know what I'm saying? So usually get those stories. It's usually the people that you known that long don't really show you that much love, but it be total strangers that go the whole 9 yards for you, and it's sad to say, but that's kind of how I built my team. You know what I'm saying? And it's just the fact of the matter. Well, sadly enough, I had to, go away. I was incarcerated for about a year and a half, and I actually wrote that record while I was in my cell. And it's funny because you walking down the tier, and I'm hearing dudes in the shower, gangsters, singing to like Mariah Carey and shit, and I'm just bugged out. I'm like, this dude is a gangster. You know what I'm saying? Like he done killed somebody, he cut somebody. He's like this big gangster. And he's singing, oh man, and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm just bugged. So I'm like, if they could resonate with, just that type of melodic kind of, you know, just record. Why can't I introduce that in my music? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm sure I'm gonna get the same reaction, especially if it's dope. So just hearing that, I went right to my cell, and it's whack to say, but that's where that record was created, and it means a lot to me because it was more so me breaking down a lot of what I've been through, breaking bread. To me, it affirms, when it's an affirmation of people coming together. You know what I'm saying? It's even if we weren't messing with each other before, now we breaking bread. If we come to that point, you know what I'm saying? And it's just a point of bringing people together and making moves. And I feel like I've been through a lot of points in my life where I had to cut a lot of people off, as I've stated before, and it's tragic, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So if you really listen to the record, it's definitely very personal. That's a really good question, man. I just, I'm a firm believer in just, you know, when you got a support system around you, the way I have it, I keep that there, and I just, I try to just build off that. You know what I mean? I can't see, or I can't pay mind to what other people are doing, because if I did, it'll just throw me off track. So with that being said, I try to just like use, the people that are around me, like close family and friends, my son. You know what I'm saying? I got a 6-year-old, and I feel like he just gives me enough inspiration. You know what I mean? Just to like, it be times when I wake up and I'm like, f this music stuff. Like, I'ma just, reality about to kick in, and I'm like, whatever. But I see myself, doing bigger and better things with this music stuff. You know what I'm saying? So I know, just with the support system I have around me, and the people who actually believe in me, and just little instances, like I said, people running into me, total strangers, telling me that they mess with what I'm doing. That's another affirmation of me, just to keep going and keep going through this struggle. Or I wouldn't even say it's a struggle, like you said, it's hurdles. But it's, once you get to that peak, it's like you start seeing everything fall into place, and that's what I like to look forward to. Figuring out, more so what message I want to you know come across to the people. Just in the music, words are so powerful nowadays. You know what I'm saying? And it always has been, but now more than ever, I feel like people words. Anything from, like I see a lot of the music that's out today, and I'm just like, I could get with some of it, but a lot of it is just, catchy little tunes, and it's, whatever it is, and it's cool for the time being, but I call it temporary music. I'm not gonna want to hear that 10 years from now. It's not. There's no longevity in it. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to put people down or anything, because I don't knock nobody hustle or grind. However you get it is how you get it. But I look at it like, I want people to, turn back the pages and be like, yo, Lex Lavo, he did his thing 20, 30 years ago, and he's still lit till this day. You know what I'm saying? He's still known and still praised and celebrated. So, you know, that's more so how I go about making my music. You know, I make sure that, you know, every record is impactful to its fullest extent. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's what should, you know, be how anybody's process should be. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, words are powerful, man. You gotta really, you know, pay attention to the things you saying on these records. Because even the younger crowd, you know what I mean? You gotta understand these young kids, they following what you saying. You know what I'm saying? So if your voice is that powerful, make sure what you saying is the right thing. You know what I mean? I come from Harlem, man. So that's like one of the meccas of, you know, fashion in New York. You know what I mean? Whether people from any other borough want to admit it or not, they get their swag from us. You know, I always have these arguments and, you know, disputes with other people from different boroughs, but, you know, and on the fact of I'm Latino, you know, we come from that source, that swag, and everybody's always competing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody always got the new shoes, whether it was, you know, actual, you know, as they say, the zapatikis, you know, they got these shoes or with the nice button down, opened up, showing your chest. It's just a statement, you know what I mean? And I like to make a statement, you know what I'm saying? I came cemetery funeral ready right now, but, you know, I usually come through like that. You know how I do, but that's just something that I feel like, you know, added to my, you know, my whole presentation. Not, you know, aside from the music, you know, I feel people respect me for my fashion sense as well as my lyricism and my content. You know what I'm saying? So I'd rather plead the fifth on that one.
Alright.
I'd rather plead the fifth on that one, because if I indulge in that, I'm a type of person. You know, shout out to big homie Noriega. I had a talk with him not too long ago, and he told me, yo, you too blunt for this industry. He always tells me that, yo, you too straightforward. You got to cut that out. And I'm like, why? Like, that's me. He was like, yo, bro, and you know, yo, forgive me, NO, for this, but he was like, yo, sometimes you got to give them a little bit of fake with a little bit of real. And knowing where we come from, we not about that. We straight real all across the board, but just a little bit. Me and you could be beefing, but if we in this setting right here and we amongst people, I'm not gonna beef with you. I'm be like, yo, Hug, you know what I mean? So he was like, yo, just give him a little bit of fake sometimes, and then just keep it real all across the board, because people gonna respect you. And in my mind, I'm like, yo, Nori, you bugging right now. I don't even want to hear this. Like, but I feel like that's why I said if I indulge in that question, I'll just keep my comments to myself on that one. I feel like bodegas is slept on. You know what I mean? Period. Like, we had bodegas everywhere. I feel like I done been places where there was no such thing. There was just gas stations. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Like, if there was more bodegas more locally, you know what I mean? Maybe, you know, that'll kind of help, you know what I mean? Just local businesses and just, you know, mom and pops stores and stuff like that. Those are dope. You know what I'm saying? You could get everything at a little bodega. Literally everything you could think of, whether it's seasoning, breakfast. You can have a chopped cheese, get a sandwich, you know what I'm saying? You can get your cigarettes, your backwood if you smoke up, you know what I mean? Whatever. It's just a conglomerate of everything you need all in one space. And I just feel like there's a lack of that in a lot of places, or lack thereof. Man, I got my own sandwich, man. Facts. I go in there, cause they and you know they call me Rubio, cause they say, you know, my blonde chin hairs and all that. So I get this specific sandwich. I'm not gonna tell y'all, but if y'all go to 119th in Lexington, y'all could go get it. It's called the Rubio. Yo, what's good, y'all? I'm Lex Lavo, and my daily gem is, I would say to the youth, what's taken for granted will eventually be taken away from you. So always be on point with that. You know what I'm saying? Always make sure that whatever it is, you know, that's around you, whether it's people that support you, never take them for granted. You know, people, loved ones, whoever that's around you that show genuine love, make sure you reciprocate that.
On the next episode of Above the Radar, we've got make sure to tune in and tune in, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notify.
You come around over here, we gonna tell you mother.
Wow.